Hey guys, what's going on? Sincere here with whoissincere.com. I want to talk to you a little bit about Donald Trump today. Got a couple articles that just came out here, and I want to go over them. And the reason why I want to do this is because I put out information about 4 months ago detailing how in a comic book in 1990, Donald Trump actually popped up. He was building a wall. The people rejected him. He went away for some time, came back even stronger, in alliance with the same people that initially rejected him, or people that look like the people that initially rejected him. Okay? So that was in 1990 in a comic book. And I told people, I said, look, I said, there's no way in hell that in 1990 Trump was depicted building a wall, exactly on the border that he's building it. Not only depicted in building the wall, but there was another part in that same series within that comic strip, that actual particular one, where Miley Cyrus was pictured on MTV. That's not really a big deal, except she wasn't born. So 2 years later, she was born in 1992. So, and this was in Heavy Metal magazine. I forget the issue number. I'll leave a link to the video, which has all of that information in it. So, that leads me to this point. Trump is now starting to experience a backlash to the backlash, I guess, as the article states. And Trump receiving rhetoric is, well, not really rhetoric, but Trump receiving criticism is not really, it's not new. This has been going on for months now. But what hasn't happened yet is a complete upheaval of both sides, Republicans and Democrats, both denouncing his language, his speech, and not just denouncing it, but literally silencing him, putting him to the side as not a priority anymore. That's starting to happen. I don't know if you've noticed, but Trump is starting to die down in the news media. Okay? Now, whether this is by design or not, I'm not sure whether that part is by design. I'm really not sure. But what I do know is that preemptively someone saw this in 1990 and saw what was coming. And I think it's funny because I pull it up, I bring it out, I show the people, and I tell the people, hey, listen, this is going to be a very long race. It started at the middle of last year. We still have 12 months left. So, or about 12 months left. So, if it started at the middle of last year, you're talking about 1.5 years of campaigning. There's not 1.5 years worth of talking this man can do. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's given us all his opinions, all his ideas. He's given us all the quote-unquote goodies. And there's not much more left. Right now, he's out of the media, so he's probably somewhere studying, trying to get caught up on certain things. But this man has so much studying to do, I don't think he realizes what he's really gotten himself into. So, at the end of the day, maybe he doesn't realize it, maybe he does, I don't know. But I will tell you this. I don't know if things are destiny. I don't know if things are forced. But I can guarantee you that there are a certain sector of people that do know what's going on. It may not be me, it may not be you, but there's a certain sector of people that know what's going on, and there's clues all around us. Okay? So my whole point in showing you this and talking to you about this is just to pretty much let you know, listen, this is probably a part of a bigger plan. That's why it was depicted over 25 years ago. Not only is it part of a bigger plan, we have the power of changing this if it is a plan. We collectively have the power of changing this. Now, is that something that's going to ring true to a lot of people? I'm going to tell you right now, no. Just look at the dislikes on this video. I guarantee you the dislikes on this video will go up because I'm talking about Trump. Anytime that I talk about Trump, the dislikes go up. I get a very, a marginal difference. I get a little bit of a difference between the likes and dislikes, but, it inevitably happens. Trump brings out the darker side of Americans. He brings out the side that Americans don't want to say. Now, that side that they don't want to say, that's called the side of not being classy. We may feel things. Trust me, I am very opinionated. And when I get around groups of people, if I said what I wanted to say, I'd probably be a terrible person. But we're not allowed to just go around saying whatever we want to say about whoever we want to say it about whenever we want to say it. That's not freedom of speech. That's abusing freedom of speech. Okay? So we have a billionaire, a man who has been funding politicians for decades. He's telling us he's going to make America great again. All while he's telling us this, those of you who are out there who understand independent media and understand the Zionist plan, this man right here is in bed with the Zionists, literally. Go to Israel and look at the Trump Towers. The new Trump Elite Towers, I believe it is, that are supposed to, open up this year. This year, maybe next year. So, we're dealing with somebody who he's smart as far as the network marketing world and as far as closing out contracts to get his name put on the building. He's smart as far as that, but not so smart in other things. So that's why he hires a panel of people, a very, very expensive panel of people to give him advice, to give him updates, to give him talking points. He has plenty of consultants that help to shape and mold him into who he is supposed to become. Now we have to think about that because the federal government is now providing Secret Service details for Donald Trump and other candidates. So on a federal dime, on our tax money is paying for the rhetoric that's coming from this man's mouth. Not only is our tax money paying for it, but I'm guaranteeing you that I'm not going to guarantee you, but I'm going to just about guarantee you that some of those consultants around Donald Trump are actually handlers. Okay? This is what you're looking at, guys. This is all a big show. It's one big show. Whether they know all the ins and outs of the full story, maybe not. I don't know. But they know that they understand their role in the story. A lot of these guys understand their role in the story. Why? Because of the back shadow meetings that happen that you and I don't see that are higher than Mason levels. Okay? That's what you're watching, guys. This is not anything new. This is not, Donald Trump is not, the new thing coming out and we've just never seen this before. No, we've seen this before. And it's been all the politicians that we had. It's the only difference between this guy is he's not ever been a politician before, which makes me even more nervous. He has the perfect escape clause if he messes up. I've never done this before. Or if he decides to mess up. I've never done this before. I didn't know what I was doing. But yet America thinks that we can take somebody that's never held a public office, put him at the head of the country, even though he's been the one financing corruption for decades, and blood-sucking the people through casinos, while giving the rich people extravagant luxury hotels, without him ever donating back into the communities where he's blood-sucking the money from. But everybody wants to say how great he is. How is that great? How is that good? How is that going to help anybody? Anybody. Look at your mother. Look at your father. Look at your sister. Look at your brother. Have any of his actions ever helped any of them? No, they haven't. His actions are designed to take your money. And he's a master at it. That's what he's good at. So no, he doesn't have to use his money or use our money to run for president because he's already taken so much of it. And why would you have to use the public's money when you own casinos? You can stop off at the casino and pick up a few dollars. Okay? That's afternoon money for him. In casino terms. They won't even miss it off the books because it won't go on the books. This is what you're watching, guys. You're watching corrupt politicians, corrupt billionaire class people sit here and promise you more BS that they're not going to do, or agree with some of the stuff that's already being done that we need to change. So, while I may say, feel the burn and Bernie Sanders every once in a while, I'm still not happy with him either. He agrees in things like the TPP. I don't agree with that crap. Why don't I agree with it? Because the American people weren't even able to get it while it's been being negotiated for a decade. Well, not a decade, but almost. For a lot of years. So, none of these politicians truly get it. None of these politicians are here to break us out of the mold that we've been placed in by both Democrats, Republicans, bankers, the corporate class, the elite. We've been placed into this mold of control. Control. You go to work, you do your 40 hours a week, you shut the hell up, and you make sure you vote for me when I say vote. Do anything outside of that, we'll either lock you up, or if you're a person of minority, it's more likely that before you get locked up, you'll get killed. That's what our America is turning into. How the fuck? Listen, excuse my language. How can we say that this is good? I know a ton of people all across the United States, from being a military veteran and also from traveling. I know a ton of people in very high positions of government, in very high positions in the corporate world as well. I know people in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to tell you something, guys. There's a lot of people that are out there that don't support this guy. But then there's the dark side of people that do support the things he's saying. How are we letting this happen to us? How is the hatred that much in people's hearts where they just don't care anymore? They feel like they have a front runner to the hatred in their heart, so it's okay to put that hatred on display in front of people and to say, hey, it's okay because Donald said it. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Now, I'm going to explain to you, and let me just bring it all the way around. I got a little bit off subject there, a little rant. I'm sorry, but, I have to explain some things. When we're talking about, is this a bigger plan? And, well, Sincere, you said that this is a bigger plan, and I'm not saying you do anything else besides talk about Donald Trump. Can you tell me anything else? Sure, I sure can. Let's get to there now. So, Donald Trump in this comic, he builds a wall, he's shunned by the people, he goes away. In the comic strip, actually, it was Mike Tyson. He gives Mike Tyson a hat, gives him a couple dollars, I believe it was, and puts him on his team, comes back and wins the hearts and the minds of the people, the same people that hated him. Okay? Enter your Mike Tyson. Louis Farrakhan agrees with Donald Trump on refugees. That's the title. But I'm going to tell you like this. When you watch that video, I can't play it for copyright reasons, but when you watch that video, he's talking about more than refugees. It's everything just short of endorsing Donald Trump. And this is exactly the kind of man that Donald Trump is going to need to come back. A Muslim and a black man. And a very, very prominent, powerful leader. Okay? So, 4 months ago, the whole world was up in arms about Louis Farrakhan marching in D.C. for the Million Man March. Oh, he's an N-word. Oh, he's a disgusting, racist, filthy dog. And Everything you can think of, Louis Farrakhan was called that day. Everything. The moment that Alex Jones gets with Louis Farrakhan, look at these likes. Look at the dislikes. The comments are phenomenal. Not a single damn Louis Farrakhan hate comment. You understand what I'm saying? People are anticipating this. This is called marketing at its finest. A psyop at its finest. This is called political posturing for people that aren't even in the political arena. Donald Trump is doing it. He's political posturing for the presidency, you know, the irony of it. And this guy, Louis Farrakhan, who I have respected for some time, I actually love listening to him speak. He's an excellent speaker. I'm not going to say everything he said to Alex was wrong. No, it wasn't wrong. Actually, all of it was right. Straight up. All of it was right. But I'm going to tell you this. It's common sense. We're not getting any revelation from what he's saying. Immigrants that come in the country, of course we should check them. That's what the hell we do now. Check immigrants that come in the country. Are we failing in that process? Yes. Why? Because we're not implementing the practices that we have out there. Not because of some stupid wall. We're simply not implementing the practices that we preach. So whether we bring 10,000 in more or not, it's really not going to matter. We're going to do the same thing to them. We could talk about this all day, but it's not going to make the people that are checking these people work any harder or work any more diligently. They're going to still work at the same pace that they're working at right now, which is, that's what you're looking at here. There's nothing going to change. There's no revelation here. It's just a bunch of BS to keep the show running. But in that bunch of BS, this is Donald Trump's Mike Tyson. I'm saying Mike Tyson from the comic strip. But this is Donald Trump's Mike Tyson right here. And he's going to be on Alex Jones, I believe, on the 20th of January. So I'll be tuned in watching that. I don't really do Alex Jones as much anymore. I used to watch his channel. I like a lot of the things that he has to say, but it's just gets a little crazy sometimes. So we have Donald Trump receiving his backlash. We have the man that will unite with him. I'm telling you that now. We have the man that will unite with him and help to bring his image back up, especially in the black community. Okay? Why do I say that also? Let me dive into that. There's nothing negative that he said about Trump. He didn't not say, you know, I don't endorse this guy, or, hey, I'm not endorsing him, but, no. Said, I like what he said. I like that he even went into the fact that he likes that he's spending his own money to speak his truth, and he thinks that that's going to be a more honest presidency. If that's not a damn endorsement, I don't know what is. He's only one sentence away from an endorsement. Okay? Now, in this comic strip, it's right here, exposed, Trump is Obama 2016 guaranteed win. It was 4 months ago. Okay? 4 months ago. And actually, this Army After Next Part 3, I have Trump standing in front of the Chinese and Israeli flags that I flipped the colors to. You gotta watch that series as well. But in this documentary right here, or in this short video right here, it's only 45 minutes, I go through the whole comic strip and break it down. Trump is nothing more than another Obama. That's all he is, another Obama, with a different title. Don't forget the man was going to run as an independent, not a Republican. There's nothing conservative about Trump. I don't even think he goes to church. I don't even know if he believes in God. That's not his basis of reasoning of kicking out the Muslims. He doesn't say we should kick them out to preserve our religion in this country. No. He doesn't say that at all. Why? I'll let you figure that out. And I'm not saying that he should say it, but I'm saying that he doesn't fit that Republican demographic. It's a title. It's all it is a title. It holds no weight. The man was going to run as an independent anyway. But he's going to get better. He's going to steal all the voters from the Republican side and the independents. The independents that aren't going to Bernie, which a lot of them are now. So, in the comic strip, it was very detailed, and it shows how, like I said again, Trump builds his wall. He has a backlash from public. He goes away. He comes back with a champion for his cause, and that looks like the other people that sent him away in the first place. He wins them back over. He's back in power, and he puts them in the circumstances that he wanted to put them in. And that's how the comic strip ends. Straight up. We're living in a comic strip right now, guys. It's not funny, but that's what's going on. It's ridiculous. If Americans can't wake up to this, man, I don't know what's going on with our education level here in America. So, I've talked a lot about this. I'm going to leave some links. Everybody's coming up against Donald now. You got Tavis Smiley. You got this lady here. What was her name? Nikki Haley, the half Indian woman. I thought she said some decent things. I don't endorse her, especially fake ass look on her face the whole time she was giving her speech. Is the worst looking speech ever. So I don't endorse her, but I listen to words. I listen to what people say. And she had some truth to what she was saying. There was definitely some truth to what she was saying. And because of that truth, look, man, we're in the time now where the truth is the bad thing. You see what I'm saying? But then you have other people that are exaggerating the truth and turning it into a terrible thing. Okay, so she's speaking the truth. She had a bad backlash on social media. I've looked at the Twitters and stuff, and they are trashing this lady. Republicans, Democrats, doesn't matter, because she threw shots at both sides. And she came from a point where she's was willing to accept responsibility. And everybody missed that. No one gave her a fair shake and said, you know what? She's right. We are all complicit. And Donald Trump's rhetoric, is not going to solve our problems. His loud, angry voice is not the solution. And she received a massive, massive backlash just from standing in the center as a Republican. But yet, if she goes far to the right as a Republican, she's going to still receive a backlash. So where can you stand in this country in politics? Where can you stand in the middle and look at all sides and say, hey, this is what's messed up over here, this is what's messed up over there, but if we bring it together, we can work it out? Where can you sit and say that and literally receive positive feedback? There's nowhere. The only place that I can think of that you can go to receive that is actually on my Facebook fan page called All Rights Matter. So go to Facebook right now, type in All Rights Matter. Hashtag ARM, A-R-M. Other than that, there is no public place out here besides some groups online and my Facebook page that I just told you about, where we can collectively sit down and bring these ideas to the table, hash them out, figure out a strategy for the future, moving forward, collectively, as a people, as an American public, combined with our elected officials. But instead, we have our elected officials that are listening to the billionaire class like Donald Trump over the last few decades and doing what he wanted done. Okay? That's the part Donald's not talking about, and neither are his supporters. Donald Trump paid to have a lot of things done over the last few decades. No one's going to ask what those things are. No one wants to know what these corrupt politicians have done with Donald Trump's corrupt money. We're so basic in America. Basic. We are not a complex people. Why? Because we do not know how to think. We have very short memories due to all this cell phone crap, text messaging and all that. Don't make me out to be anybody that's against technology. I'm an information systems analyst, and I've been doing this for more than a lot of you that listen to this have been born. But I'm telling you what the facts are. We become a quick society. Quick. Everything is fast. And we forget what happened yesterday. And then we don't allow it. Because we forgot what happened yesterday, we don't make good decisions for tomorrow. And that's where the hell we're headed right now. It's the same thing. Again and again and again and again. Trump is Obama 2016. There will be no change. Just like when Obama came into office, there was no change for the people. There's been a change for the government. Our government is switching over to this clean energy, carbon tax-based economy. Those have been our biggest, hugest changes since Barack has been in office. We haven't cut down on racism. We haven't helped the lower class families in America. We haven't expanded the middle class. There's no income equality. The only things that we got when Barack Obama came in office is gay marriage, war, and world agreements on carbon emissions and trade. Gay marriage, war, and world agreements that will tax the globe. That's what we got. That's the change that Obama campaigned on. Guess who's campaigning on similar change? Trump. It's the same guy. It's the same guy with a different color of skin and worse hair. The same guy. Guys, I'm here to tell you, this is not going to change. Your future is not going to change. Why? There's something called technocrats. Bill Gates just started a company called TerraPower. It actually didn't just start. It's been around for a couple years now, I believe. TerraPower sucks the carbon out of the air, turns it into little pellets, and those pellets can be used to fuel homes, tractor trailers for for traveling across the United States, automobiles, whatever they can be. That's fuel. It can be used for anything. So Bill Gates has a nuclear facility that pulls in air and turns that air into fuel. And we're worried about some funky immigrants? Excuse my language, like, really? Bill Gates just put a damn patent on your energy for tomorrow. You want energy tomorrow? You go pay Bill Gates for it. Oh, but wait, you can't, because he just took that company to China and they immediately cut a contract with him to build as many of those as possible, and they put a 15-year lock on them. So you won't get that technology. But don't worry, you didn't miss it. Nothing to see over here. No big deal, no worry, even though that everything that's going on is telling us that we're going to this global tax and this carbon-based system. Carbon tax-based system. Then you have Bill Gates, who is nothing more than the very definition of corporate America and government tied all into one. You have a technocrat that just came up with a world-changing idea. Who else in the world has a nuclear power facility that sucks air and takes the carbon out of the air and turns it into fuel? Nobody. Just Bill Gates. Okay? So, while we want to sit around and talk all this crap about immigrants and walls and just a bunch of crap that does not matter. It's shielding us. It's shielding us, and we're falling into more ignorance. And that ignorance will be our very demise. I'm telling you now in America, you're going to die because of ignorance. You know, for you Bible folks out there, what does it say? My people perish because of a lack of knowledge. Ignorance. Ignorance is going to kill you. Ignorance killed the Jews. Ignorance. Ignorance and the ability to say, I don't want to hear that. The ability to shut out information that's good for you because it's uncomfortable. We don't have any tough moral fiber anymore. We got a bunch of punks in the United States. Bunch of punks. People that won't stand up for their rights. 99.99999% of Americans will not stand up like the ones that are in Oregon right now. Guaranteed. Why? Because they're too scared. They're scared. They're scared, and as long as you don't pop their little bubble and let them have the little happiness that they have, it's fine. The puppeteer can keep controlling the puppets. And my whole stance is, don't you guys want to break out of that? Aren't you tired of that? Aren't you being tired of being told that these are your only options when you know that you can create more options? You know that we don't have to just select from these people from presidency. There's over 300 million people in the United States. We can find anybody else to be a president. But that's not how the game is played. It's an effing game, guys. It's a game. And they're playing it well. Do they all know the outcomes? No. But it doesn't mean that the system's not rigged. So think about it. You think about that when you think about giving your support to Donald Trump. You think about that when you think about giving your support to Louis Farrakhan. You think about that. Another thing about Farrakhan, I didn't go to the Million Man March and spend my $500-something on my room I had reserved a block away or a couple blocks away. I didn't go. Because I realized something that was, one, I didn't go because, at the time, I'm not even going to lie, financially speaking, $500-something for a room? Oh, wow. That's a little bit ridiculous. So I said, I don't think it's going to be that important for me to be there. And I was absolutely right. 1,000% right. Okay? Ever since that Million Man March, I haven't heard nothing else from this man. I haven't heard nothing from none of those leaders. So what do? We have a Million Man March, we boycott part of Christmas, and they still end up having a record season Christmas and doing very well. And then nothingness. When I realized that we were going to Washington to boycott Christmas, I'm not walking in Washington to boycott a Christian holiday with a Muslim. Is that called divisionary? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm saying that I see something wrong there. We haven't boycotted any other holidays. Yes, I know Christmas is the biggest money-making holiday out there. But you can send a message several times a year with other holidays, too. But we're not doing that. This is all a show. It's all a game. These things don't work. We're being given a bunch of broken options and being told that's the only thing you can choose from. That's what you decide on. And many Americans are flat out okay with it. Well, I'm not. This man is posturing up for Donald Trump. He knows who the next president's going to be. I know who the next president's going to be. It's not going to be Hillary Clinton. Not going to be Bernie Sanders either. It's going to be Donald Trump. Why? Because it looks like it's pretty much written that way. If he does not win in 2016, one, I'll be shocked. Two, I know he'll be back in 2020 and he'll sweep it. Do I want that to happen? Absolutely not. Can I stop it from happening? Absolutely not. But I can speak out against it. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm speaking out against it. And I'm letting as many people as I know, wake up. Just wake up, please. That's all I'm asking you, is to please wake up and to see that this is all in a one big game. These guys sit back in their nice cush offices, in their cozy settings. And what do they do all day? They talk about you and I. And they talk about how they're going to stay in power and how they're not going to relinquish any of that power to us. And what do? We go vote for them. We go vote for them. So this is above the Rose Parade earlier this month on the 1st. And some skywriters went up there and wrote, "Trump is disgusting. America is great. Trump is disgusting. Anybody but Trump." And this was not small. This was huge. A lot of people saw this. A lot of people saw it. That's actually a pretty funny ad right there. So, let me see if I can find, I can't find it now. I don't know where it went. But, it's actually a lot bigger, and, it goes around. It was like done in almost like a semicircle in the sky. It's very interesting. The people know. The people, don't want Trump. But then there's the people that don't mind catering to that dark side. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to sound so twisted and so messed up. Trump is only feeding the people that Obama was neglecting. Do you think it's probably all a setup to create dissension among the lowest ranks of people? The jobs are gone. Inflation is high. There's no security of any kind anywhere. And then, just like the Illuminati's plan, here comes Trump. Just like the 1990 comet, here comes Trump. Guys, this is not a game. This is your warning. These elite are super freaking slick. They are super slick. If you think that they're like you and I, you are dead wrong. Most of these people are a lot smarter than you and I. And they display it through series of actions, and you follow those actions. And when you follow them, it tells a very clear, compelling story. And we know what happens to very clear, compelling stories in the United States that require justice. They get swept under the table. So I'm laying it out there. I'm telling you guys how it is. I'm showing you what I can show, showing you just what's going on here. I'm correlating these two articles to show you what's going on. But this man is not going anywhere. Oh no, he's not going anywhere. The only thing you can do is wake your friends up and say, don't vote for him. Excuse me. Don't vote for him. If you vote for him, you are complicit in your own failure in the future. Just like the people that supported Hitler. Hitler seemed like he was a cool guy when he first started talking to people. Oh, he was bold. He was something else. He was a firecracker. And he sounded he was saying all the right things. I'm not certain that during that time frame, I probably would have fell for it too. I'd be like, hey, this guy sounds great. We're in all this stress and all this trouble, and here comes this guy to save the day. We see how that went. Okay. It is not always the man with the loudest voice that has the best ideas or will resolve the future. As a matter of fact, while I'm saying that, let me not take her words. because she actually said this. There's a tendency to falsely equate noise with results. Some people think that you have to be the loudest voice in the room to make a difference. That is just not true. Often the best thing we can do is turn down the volume. You don't have to read too hard between the lines there to catch the message. Shut up already, Donald. There's the look. You guys understand what's going on here? Well, I hope you do. I've given you 40 minutes of my time. Many of you have probably already disliked this video. That's fine. I could care less, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, the information is out there, and the ears that need to hear it, I'm praying that they will hear it. So this article, you know, funny enough, I've already tied Trump in with Farrakhan, right? Okay. Now this scathing article, first of all, it only has 95 comments on it. Doesn't even really have that many shares on it, like 4 shares or something. Has to be more than 4 shares. Maybe that's not updated. 95 comments tells me there's more than 4 shares on it. But still relatively new article, just came out. This article is everything wrong with Trump. You know, it's people coming against him, but it's not just people coming against him, okay? You have to look at who wrote the article. Funny enough, Oregon Live, the Oregonian. Okay, what's going on in Oregon right now? The militia that's there at the refuge. So I just actually, a few hours ago, I just got off of an amazing interview on my other station where I have a radio station underneath Anon Radio Live. I just did an interview with the lead Idaho 3%er that's out there. I believe his name was Branson, if I'm not mistaken. But or Brandon, I'm sorry, Brandon. But Brandon Curtis, actually, I just interviewed him for an hour to, you know, give me the lowdown of what's going on out there in Oregon. And, you know, him and his guys are providing the patrol, and taking charge and providing the patrol around the people that are at the refuge. So they're keeping watch and they're doing patrol. And they've also confronted the FBI and all kinds of stuff. So it was an amazing interview. That'll be posted up within a few hours. I encourage you to see that. But looking at everything that's going on in Oregon right now, and I find it funny that this article would come out of Oregon. So you know, I don't know much about the state, but I know that when I pulled up Google and I typed in Trump, this is what popped up. Okay, so you have Oregon, Louis Farrakhan, and Trump all in one video together. I'm not saying that anything is going to go down with that, but what I am saying is that this man right here, dangerous. He's going to back Trump. I'm telling you that now. And if he does, watch out. This man right here, not going to make America great again. Doesn't have the ability to do it. Just doesn't simply have it. Not enough world leaders would even like him. Okay? And if the world leaders like him, and if they absolutely love him, then you better worry. You better worry. So that's all I have for you guys. I don't want to beat a dead horse too much here. I've given you everything that I can and telling you most of the things that I'm updated with regarding Trump and regarding Louis Farrakhan now getting ready to back Trump. Regarding the 1990 comics showing these eerily showing very similar circumstances, surrounding Trump right now. I've covered all of these things with you in under 45 minutes. All that I would ask, guys, is you go to the description section below, you check out the links, you go through the information, and you take the time to learn. Turn the TV off. Take the time to learn something. Learn something substantial, something you can't find on TV. Make sure you go to Anon Radio Live and subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Make sure you also find us on Facebook. Also, download my app in the description section. As always, guys, stay alert, stay alive.